Hey guys, it's El Supersonic Q here with the first video of 2013. So, as always, got a lot more stuff coming this year, a lot more new stuff, new series throughout the year, and the continuation of my drawing, clay, everything like that. So, thanks for watching and keep doing so. But this episode is episode 19 of the In-Depth series, in which we will cover the Sonic 1 diorama set, the classic Sonic 1 diorama set. So, normally I go into the history about the set before I start showing the models, but I kind of need the models to tell the story. So let's jump right in. The first model is Sonic in Green Hill Zone naturally, because that's the first level of Sonic 1. So this first model, I want to say, was made about 4 years ago, and it was just made to be a model of Sonic collecting a ring in Green Hill Zone, because, you know, that's an iconic level. So, after I made this, I was so thrilled by the fact that it actually could stand up like this, and it did stand up, that I thought it was such a cool little statue that I want to continue making little Sonics like this. But nowhere down the line at this point did I think that I was actually going to make a set out of it. So we had Sonic in Green Hill Zone. Next, like I said, I wanted to continue making little Sonics, but I didn't really know what the premise should be. I'm like, the Green Hill Zone, but what should I level? Like, what should this one be about? And then I thought, well, I did Green Hill Zone. Why not just go down the line? Why not make a Marble Zone? And I can make Sonic doing something different. So that's what I did. And this one is Sonic in Marble Zone, and he's balancing on one of the blocks that move up and down to avoid the flame. And you can tell his face is like, like he is in the game. So then this one came along, and again, it stayed intact. From judging by this green here, I used a couple different greens, so this may have. I think it actually did fall over, and I had to patch it over a little bit. Um, but nonetheless, after slight patching that I can't even remember where I actually did it, or how much of it I actually had to do, or how hard it was, I was still pretty happy with how this looked, and thought, hey, I should make a set. And I think that's more or less how the set pretty much came about, is through these first two models, and what a success they were. But after I made these two models, if you guys remember in video game clay figure models, I think it may have been 5 or so, I revealed the third one of the set, which was Springyard Zone. But if you notice in the description, I had written, from what I remember, it was something like, this set has gone on a major delay, so only one more model had been made, that being the Springyard one. So between these two and this one, I think was probably about a year, because I put a video game clay figure model video out about once a year. So Springyard was next, and at this point I was actually running short on some ideas, as you can tell. These ones were a little bit more creative, and this one's kind of just Sonic running. Springyard Zone, I had trouble with actually coming up with a good concept, so that's why this one's kind of just lackluster. Sonic is running toward a spring that's a little bit too small for him, up to a ring box that, really is kind of a little bit unfitting, with a random ball behind him. But this was actually not the first. I'll get a little bit of a shot of the face if you can see right there. But this was actually not the first Springyard Zone model I had made. No. I made one previous to this, in which I'm calling a prototype, because it is by today's standards, and it was this one. Like I said, the concept was hard, so this was my original concept. And as we get through the rest of the models, you can tell that what I originally wanted to do was, these ones are kind of like vertical, and this one's more horizontal. So I wanted to kind of keep them all vertical. However, that really didn't happen, and as you can tell from that one, that was kind of hard to do after. So Sonic is just kind of randomly jumping on a spring with this ball behind him. And I didn't keep this one because I didn't like how. I think mostly I didn't like how it didn't stand, because it didn't stand up. And I didn't like how these toothpicks were needed to hold him into place, because he didn't stand on his own. And just the concept just didn't capture Springyard Zone. Like, why is he bouncing on a spring and hitting a ball at the same time? But he's like not in his spin ball, and he's like looking up, I don't know. Just kind of too out there for me. So I'm going to have to kind of lean him against there. So he stays a prototype. Alright. Now this is when the set kind of gets a little bit different, because these guys were sculpted, like I said, 4 years ago, and well, from this one to that one. This one was, I'm gonna say, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. So in between this one and Labyrinth Zone, which was the next model, was a good like 2 or 3 years. So um, I obviously got better at sculpting Sonic, and that's why this one of Labyrinth Zone looks so much different. It's because so much time had passed. But he's sliding down a waterfall, and I do like this one. It's more artwork authentic, and it just has a better overall likeness of Sonic from Sonic 1. I actually etched in what the block patterns look like, so I thought that was pretty cool. I got the coral in the background, and a ring, which I'm actually going to kind of call a beta ring of the sort, because when I was originally thinking of concepts for this, I wanted to have Sonic getting hit by a Borobot coming out of the ground and losing all his rings. But I didn't have enough room for the Borobot on the little platform, and I didn't want to make it, like really big. So I just kind of threw a ring in there because I wanted to kind of keep something from that concept. And I'm also gonna say that this is my favorite model from the set. Its overall appearance and concept is really great. All right, now is kind of a term that we've all come to know on my channel, and it's fake vintage. So these next ones, for some reason, they were still sculpted, like maybe a couple weeks after that one, which was like September of last year. But the only thing is, I didn't use any artwork. I kind of wanted to make it look like old like this, but it really couldn't be done because I had improved my skills. So this was kind of just like a typical off the top of my head type looking Sonic in Starlight Zone. Really doesn't go along with how Sonic 1 Sonic looks. But that probably goes along with the fact that, well, for one, I made him much bigger than I had anticipated, so I don't know, I kind of just didn't have as much incentive to make the entirety, of this model look, really game authentic. And I was running out of this green, so my original concept was to make him spinballing like through a little tunnel, but instead I had to make him kind of just like going down a loop. And again, a random ladder here just because I needed to make it look like Starlight Zone, but I really couldn't. So that is Sonic in Starlight Zone. Next is Scrap Brain Zone, and again, I struggled a little bit with the concept for this one. I wanted to do something with the flames and stuff, but I realized that if I had done... Well, I wanted to make Sonic getting hit and losing rings, since I didn't do it for that one. But the only problem there was it would have looked exactly the same as that model, and I didn't want to go along with that. So I kind of took an old concept, Sonic walking, and made Sonic running with his shoes, going in that little, like, when he's running position. Which actually ended up working out. I like how it actually it actually looks. And this Sonic is actually sculpted, like I said, the whole fake vintage thing. This one is actually more of how I would generally sculpt a typical Sonic nowadays than trying to fake a vintage thing or anything. The buzzsaw right here, which is actually coming loose. I just kind of tapped it. Whoa, don't want to touch that. As Sonic runs away from it, yeah. This is one of those horizontal models again, because that concept of vertical ones was kind of thrown out the window. Alright, and then for the last one to the set, I needed just some kind of closer to the set that kind of just wraps it all up, so I went along with the final zone, because it was the final zone. Only thing is, though, I wanted to keep this one in scale with all the other Sonics, so I had to make him, that size, but the only problem was I also wanted to include Eggman. And aside from not having enough gray to actually make the capsule, say, that much bigger, I feel like if I made Eggman as big as Sonic, it would have taken away from, Sonic in the set. So as a result, what I did is I kind of made, or I justified this model by saying that Eggman, how he goes up and down? Well, Eggman's going down in his capsule, that's why he's cut off at, like, the chest line, and Sonic's kind of just randomly pushing on the capsule. But I do like how that Sonic is sculpted, though. Overall, it's a pretty nice looking model. And I actually had some difficulty trying to get him to stand, because for some reason I had to assemble this one more so than the others, and when I was trying to glue it in, parts weren't fitting in and stuff, but that's a nice looking model. Overall, I like this set. It's a really nice set, but I can't help think to wonder what this set would have actually ended up being if I didn't wait numerous years in between sculpting, and I kind of just did it all at the same time. But I guess we'll never know. And now we got like an old part, like an older part to the set, a newer part to the set, but it all works out in the end. And just a common trend in the set, as you can see that uh, as I progress through the models, I more so, more or less, um, base the models more off of like the sprite artwork, because like Sonic running here, that that's a real sprite. Like I said, I used artwork for this one, the Labyrinth Zone one. Whereas this one, Sonic grabbing a ring really doesn't happen. He's kind of randomly running here, and especially for that one, which was the prototype. He's just kind of jumping up randomly. So a nice set, and I'm glad to finally get it done. So thanks for watching, guys. This first video of 2013, first episode of the In-Depth series for the year. Who knows how many episodes of this will get out this year. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, I'm El Supersonic Q. Until the next video, Finn.